All right, so we're chapter 4, section 1. We're on day 3. In the first section of notes, like the homework 1 through 8, you were given 3 sides of a triangle, and with all the given pieces, you just filled in the ratios for the 6 trigonometric functions. And then in the second part of homework, 9 through 18, you were given 2 sides of a triangle, and you had to use Pythagorean theorem to solve for the third side so that you could fill in the functions. So today, we're going to solve for a missing side, given one side and the angle. So this time we're given the angle. Angle theta is 42 degrees. The angle is always the number inside the triangle. That's an angle. The sides are on the outside. So the first thing I'm going to do when I start doing my work is I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA over on the side. So I have a visual reference. SOHCAHTOA. And then I want to label my triangle pieces. I know across from 90 degrees is always the hypotenuse, HYP. And then I go to the angle, theta, that I'm talking about, and across from that is the opposite. Opposite theta is the opposite side. The leftover one, or the one that's touching the angle, is the adjacent, ADJ. So I've labeled all 3 sides of my triangle. And when I did that, I see I have some information here for the hypotenuse, so that's going to be important. There's sort of information here. That's the side I'm looking for. I want to find out what is there. So there's an X there, so it's important. There is nothing over here on the opposite side. So I'm not worried about what's happening over there. I only care about the hypotenuse side and the adjacent side for this problem. So that is the A and the H. So then to figure out which trig function I am going to use, I'll go over to SOHCAHTOA and I look for A and H together. So sine, that's OH. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm not using the opposite piece. So then I look at CAH, AH, AH. That has the pieces that I have, so I want to use C, and C is for cosine. So because it has the A and the H, I'm going to use the cosine function for my equation to solve. So I'm going to set this up as the cosine of some angle equals a fraction. And I know the angle because it was given to me here and in the picture. Cosine of 42 degrees. Cosine of 42 degrees equals A over H. A on top, H on bottom. So A is on top, that's X. H is on the bottom, that's 18. Cosine of 42 degrees equals X over 18. So I have an equation. But I want to solve for X. So that means I want X by itself. This is X divided by 18. So if I want to undo the division, I multiply by 18. And then that will cancel out. Anything I do to one side of an equation, I must do to the other to keep it nice and balanced. So I multiply the left side by 18. Now I'm going to rewrite it. 18 cosine of 42 degrees equals X. All right, so I have solved for X. Now I just want to find out what that length is. So I'm going to get a calculator. And when I turn it on, clear, mode. Oh, look at that. You should always press the mode button, which right here, mode, right next to second. And see that you're in degree mode. This is in radian mode. So I need to go over and press enter on degree so that I'm in the right mode because this angle is in degrees, it's not in radians. And then I press second and mode again to get out of that screen. And then I can type this in. So I get 18. I could press times. I could have the 18 in parentheses. It doesn't matter. Or just leave it as 18. Cosine 42. Close the parentheses, enter. And then it gives me that. For the homework I'm giving you today, it says round to the 10th place. So we're going to go 13.37. The 7 tells the 3 to go up. So 13.4. So x equals 13.4. If my picture or problem had told me this was in feet or inches or something, I would label that also, but it didn't. So all I can do is say 13.4. Okay. So if I had not changed this 2 degrees, so let me change it back, mode, go back to radians. And I did 18 cosine 42. Tells me it's -7. Can the side of my triangle have a length of -7? No, it can't. It can't have a negative length. So you would know that there's a problem. And the first thing that you should do if you get a really out there answer that doesn't make sense, check mode and see if you're in the right mode, radians or degrees. Another way, it'll give you a weird answer like 0.002. And if my hypotenuse is 18, it's very unlikely that a leg of the triangle has a length of 0.002. So normally you'll either get a negative or a really small decimal, and you need to go back and check the mode. Make sure you're in the right mode. Okay. And that is it.